All right, welcome back to the continuing adventures of crafting and creating essays, papers, and things of that sort. The thing today is what you see on your screen is we're going to be talking about an argument or composing an argument. The first thing is there's a video, and I'll put the link down below. You've also got it on your worksheet that I've given you out, so you can have your note catcher. So it's there as well. It's a Monty Python sketch. It's a fairly famous one. It's called The Argument. So go ahead and put this on pause, click open the link in a new tab, and go ahead and watch it, and then come back when you're ready to continue. Start there, and we'll continue here. Okay, now that you've come back from watching the video, the first thing you need to do is we need to look up the definition of the word argument. So go ahead and open up a tab for Google, and you can keep this video playing, and go ahead and type in argument definition and hit the enter key. Yeah, just click a new tab while this video is playing. Hopefully it'll still work. And that's type in argument definition. Now, before you write it down, I'm thinking you're probably going to find what I found, which I'm going to put on the screen for you. An exchange of diverging or opposite views, typically a heated or angry one. I've had an argument with my father is number one. The second definition is a reason or set of reasons given with the aim of persuading others that an action or idea is right or wrong. The example is there is a strong argument for submitting a formal appeal. Now, for us in the world of essays, we generally don't want to get heated or angry in our academic work. We can have passionate kind of conversations, and we can have calls to action and calls for change and proposals and things, but we generally try and avoid the heated or the pure anger within our essays. If you're doing a personal opinion piece or something of that sort, then absolutely you should have anger in there, an emotion, whatever emotion you're experiencing, you should be able to express that through your word choice and your work there. But within an essay, such as like an argumentative, explanatory, whatever, you need to have the second one, which is a reason or set of reasons given with the aim of persuading others that an action or idea is right or wrong. So your definition that you need to write in that first little space is the second one, a reason or set of reasons given with the aim of persuading others that an action or idea is right or wrong. Now, the beauty of this is there's a lot of different ways to define a word, and we have to look at the context of the definition for the assignment that we're working on. The assignment we're working on is building an essay. So even as we continue through this process, you're going to be doing research on topics and thesis statements and things. You have to make sure that you kind of don't jump to the first answer that comes up on Google Research or Google Search. You want to find the right answer that gives you the right guideline for the essays and the work that we're going to do. So sometimes it's a matter of just pumping the brakes, taking a hold, and working on that. So let's take another step back. Was the process in the video an argument? I don't know. So look at the definition that we wrote, and then go back to that video. Was the video more of the first definition or the second definition? Why or why not? So use evidence from the definition and the video to explain your answer fully using complete sentences. So take your time. You can put me on pause and open up that window and watch the video. Look at the definitions that you've written down, and then kind of talk about, okay, well, it does fit this definition because this, it doesn't fit this definition because of that. Kind of explain your thinking and your reasoning, and make sure you use complete sentences. Go ahead and do that. Once you've completed that, look at the last page, and there's a last page in here. It's about, I think, 1, 2. It's the one where it has all the numbers. Excuse me. And there are about 10. Well, there's 9. There's 9 that I've written, and then there's a number 10, which is an insert your own argument there. So there's 9 arguments or 9 points of arguments that you can look at there. And what your task is to look through that list. Sorry, I gotta follow my step-by-step instructions. Choose a topic that you're interested in arguing, discussing, or researching, and possibly even writing about. Think carefully. You'll be doing some work today on this topic. So spend some time if you need to put me on pause and look through that list and see what you might want to eventually write about or research. Go ahead and circle the one you're choosing after you've unpaused me, and then write that argument below. Write that argument right here, wherever that is. Okay. Making sure that so I can see that when I go through and I look through this and give you your points on completion. So once you've written your argument, you can go ahead and continue. You can pause if you need to. The important thing, which is the next item we're going to work on, is about argumentative writing, which you're getting a preview as a part of this assignment, is that you need evidence to support your statement. For this assignment, some of this evidence can actually come from you. We're going to allow you to have some personal evidence. However, some of your evidence also has to come from online trustworthy sources. So we're going to start with you. So below, make some notes on your personal evidence that helps prove your argument. Make sure to include details with your relevant information. This kind of evidence is key in making your argument work both here and in your future essay. So an example with this, one of the topics, we can take a look here. I can kind of walk you through this a little bit. Let's say students should be able to choose to go to a traditional school or a trade school in their high school years. So your personal evidence might be, I'm really good with engines, or I'm good with mechanics, or I'm good with this, and I feel like being able to choose to go to a trade school to focus on my trade and to focus on, getting a high school credit while also learning how to do the mechanicals, and then eventually go into into a company with that trade school license or trade school degree would give me a better opportunity to start a career and be successful. That could be your personal experience. You could also say, I know people who have gone into trade schools and have been successful and things like that. So it's your personal perspective. It's your personal evidence. Generally in an essay, you don't usually have personal kind of essays, but I wanted you to find some things on this list that if you found, I think I have something I could share about that, then you can put that here on the personal kind of evidence section. So take some time and think through, maybe have 2 or 3, maybe 4 things that you can throw in there from your personal experiences that would have some kind of bearing on the argument that you selected. Okay, go ahead and pause me if you need to. Okay, now we need to look beyond ourselves and to others for support. Using Google, start searching for your topic. Don't click on anything when your search results load. Look through that first page or 2 of sources. What do you see? Go ahead and answer that question. Start the process. Search for your topic. See what you see. There's no wrong answer here. Just what do you see in complete sentences? When you're ready, you can unpause me and click back here. What sources do you see that are trustworthy? Just write the names of the sites. I don't need to write out the entire website address, but do you see any that are trustworthy? And the next question then says, hey, what sources do you think might not be the best sources? Just write the names of the sites. Don't need to write out the name address. Don't need to write out the website address. And once you've got that, you can unpause me again, and we'll move into the next part of it. So now that you've answered those questions, the next thing we need to do is we need to build evidence for our argument using these outside sources. Start researching these sources. Write notes on what evidence you find below, using the second and third page of the search results. So don't just confine yourself to that first page on Google. Click page 2, search, dig through, open up some new stuff in the windows, look through page 3, maybe even 4. Don't be satisfied with that first page. Google's results are notoriously unreliable at times. A lot of times the algorithm is the link that shows up first is the one that's been clicked on the most. Well, that sometimes isn't the most reliable source sometimes. It just means that people went to it all the time. Sometimes it means that it is reliable, but you got to double check it. You got to make sure that indeed it is a trustworthy source and it comes from a good researched program or place that is not biased and is not trying to sell you something or trying to change your mind without really giving you the evidence. So writing some notes, take some time, look through some sources, look through some resources using your search term, and you should probably have at least 3 to 4, maybe 5 things here listed as you continue to research. Pause me if you need to, and then we'll pick up with the last bit of what we're going to do. And there's the bell again. At this point, you now have your personal evidence. So you've got personal evidence and you've got some outside evidence. Now you need to assemble your Avengers, your arguments. And that's what this next page is all about. I think that's the end of that. Yep. So that's what this is. So on this page, it's basically almost going to be like a copy and paste using your writing. So your argument is your topic that you selected from the list of 9, or you wrote your own. Your piece of evidence 1. Now, your piece of evidence could be from your personal list or from your online source list, and you just want to write that piece of evidence. But then you do need to explain the why. And part of what we'll end up doing in our essays is we'll work on figuring out how to explain the why. Why does this help prove my point? Because you can give facts and figures as a part of your essay, but you do also need to be able to sell it to us using concrete and like concrete language that says, and this exhibits this because this tells us this. So you'll need to do that for your pieces of evidence 1, 2, and 3. And you can choose, you can look back at the evidence you've gathered and you can say, okay, this personal one is a really strong one. And this online one is a strong one, and then this personal one's another strong one. So there's my 3. You want to choose the best argument from the information you've gathered, so then you can put that together on here. Again, each one needs to have an answer of why this helps prove my point. And once you get to the end of that, you've just built part of an argumentative essay. You've built pieces and parcels of it. And it can seem overwhelming, but it's almost like just kind of plug and playing. It's like a puzzle piece. You just kind of copy and paste and you put it in there and it's there. But then again, you also have to do the research, right? We had you do personal research. We had to do online research. You need to build that. No essay can just be done copy and paste from pulling it off the internet. You can look, you can research, you can highlight, you can cite those sources, but you do have to have your own thoughts and your own ideas and your own reasonings and your own explanations. That's what we talk about critical thinking. We talk about putting that on paper and making great writers. Good writers and great writers can really strive to do that well. And you're never going to be a perfect writer. I'm 38 years old as the time of this recording, and I'm still learning how to write essays. I'm still learning how to write stories. I'm still learning how to communicate through the written word. That's the beauty of being writers, is we are always learning, and we should never stop learning. That's it for now for the argumentative. If you have questions, you can find me in class. Otherwise, we'll continue on with, I believe, conclusions is probably up next, and what video is ready to rock and roll. So go ahead and find it on the list of the playlist, and I will see you either in class or here on the screen momentarily.